All right, a very big welcome to you, my viewers and subscribers from all over the world. You are welcome to this weekend episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Just in, my husband is a disciplined man. Natasha Akpoti telling lies, says AKPABIO's wife. Speaking in an interview on Friday, Ekaete described AKPABIO as a disciplined and responsible man who will not disrespect her and her children. That was the wife of Senate President Godswill Akpabio responding to Senator Natasha's sexual harassment allegations against Akpabio. Mrs. Akpabio has also gone ahead to sue Natasha. Look at it. Alleged sexual harassment. Senate President Akpabio's wife sues Senator Natasha for 250 billion naira. And Oladipo here says, shame on you and your yeye husband. Thank God all his children are girls. They will all reap what he sows. So as expected, more Nigerians are on the side of Natasha. Some are referencing this. I slapped Akpabio for sexually harassing me, says ex-NDDC managing director. That was what happened when Akpabio was overseeing the NDDC. The then MD came out and said Akpabio sexually harassed her. What a disgrace to this nation under the APC. And few hours ago, another disgrace hit Aso Rock as there was a national reaction to a very pathetic display by this government after over 4 months of promising the implementation of minimum wage for core members. Tinubu and the Director General of NYSC last night once again failed the sector. And concurrently, another update from Senator Natasha began making the rounds. This time around, it was Senator Natasha responding to the wife of Senate President Godswill Akpabio. And the most notable thing about her response was that she said that she has concrete proofs, concrete evidence that Akpabio actually sexually harassed her. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you these videos. Now, Labour Party Senator Ireti Kingibe might be the greatest loser in this Akpabio versus Natasha saga. She has chosen to take sides with Akpabio, and in this video, she completely humiliated herself, showed her unintelligence, her compromise, and her complete lack of wisdom. See the video.
In question, I was not in the Senate. I was in NMPC hospital. When I came out of the hospital, my driver said to me, Madam, there's wahala in the Senate. I said, what about? He didn't tell me. He just said Senator Natasha. As soon as I heard her name, as I always do with everything that concerns her, I promptly called her. I said, Natasha, what's going on? He said, he started to try to explain about seating. She had not given me the proper explanation. I had not been given the opportunity to respond when she said to me, I'll call you back, I'll call you back. Till today, Senator Natasha has not called me back. I have a smartphone. Before I called Senator Natasha's husband, I had called Senator Natasha twice without response. Then I called him to say, I've called her twice, she's not answering me. He said, oh, she went to Singapore. Maybe that's why. And then I said to him, this is not the way this should be handled. Now, let's go on to other things. The reason we've heard it said everywhere that the 3 women in the Senate have been silent. Yes, because silence is golden, especially when one of us is not following the rules. And as women, we did not want to come out publicly to say anything negative about her. And we were hoping all of this will blow over, as a lot of things do. Now, the truth of the matter is, yes, the Senate is not gender-friendly, but it has been improving, much better than when we first entered the Senate, I must say. And the truth of the matter is, when we make a fuss and we draw the attention of the Senate President, he does correct it. Truly, the Senate can do better than it's doing, but there's hardly anything that's been done to us that's not done to other men. It is more appropriate to say that the Senate is not opposition friendly. Now, the Senate leadership may not be gender friendly, but I must say the majority of the senators, they are very kind and they are conciliatory to us. They look out for the fact that women, some of them have been there before. They guide us on, do it like this, do it that way. And slowly, even I can say, without anybody repudiating that fact, that I am the singular senator that fights the Senate president the most. But I have learned to do it. If it arises on plenary, I deal with it there, especially when it's on issues to do with my constituency. When it's on other issues of privileges, I go and meet him when all the senators are in the dining room, and I fight with him there and get the support of other senators. Senate is a place where the majority takes the day. So then also I want to say something. Us women in the Senate, in fact, to be honest, Senator Natasha has gotten the most privilege of all the four of us.
You heard that. And I would say, Senator Ireti Kingibe, if you want to defect, just defect to the APC. Because this is, for me, more disgraceful to the Labour Party than even defection. It's not as if we hold the party in high esteem like that. It's because of Peter Obi that we are with the party. But this is too disgraceful for the party. And as I speak to you, almost the whole country is bashing this woman. She sounded so unintelligent, incoherent. If you don't know what to say on a matter, must you speak? And I can confidently state that right now, Senator Ireti should look elsewhere for support. Because henceforth, Obedience have cancelled her. Obedience are all over social media saying they don't want to have anything to do with her anymore. But in this next video, another lady stepped up and absolutely destroyed Senator Ireti Kingibe. See the video.
And you are the hero. You were the hero of yesterday. If I may just start with that, because your response, your retort to Senator Ireti Kingibe, that it's about seats, and she tried to minimize what was clearly about the visibility of women for women at the assembly. That's why where they seat matters, because you've just talked about how there isn't enough women in our democracy, in our political landscape. We talk about this all the time. We talk about the UN Charter. We talk about how Nigeria signed on to it. And then the only 4 women that you have, we don't see them. So yes, it's not just a case of seats, it's about visibility. And it is rather unfortunate that we have a senator such as Senator Ireti Kingibe. It's sad that she bears my name, actually, but that's a whole different story altogether. But it's sad that not only was she incoherent yesterday, but she doesn't understand the importance, the critical importance of being seen as a woman. So, which then takes you onto that whole thing where it's not every woman who should be where they are. She's forgotten that Senator Natasha, what has she had? What, 3, probably 12 years of trying, being abused, being maligned in Kogi, having the road to our constituency dug up by the former Governor Yahaya Bello. She's had threats to her life, yet this woman did not give up. She was determined, she was focused, she was undeterred, and she continued and continued. She persevered until she got there. It is sad that somebody like Senator Ireti Kingibe, who clearly only just got there like that, doesn't appreciate the struggle of her colleague. But what's even worse, and this is on a personal level, is the infantilization. We do this in Nigeria. We call, they'll call the leaders, he's the father of the nation. AKPABIO is the father. Well, no, I know who my father is. I'm sure you know who your father is. The president is my president. He's not my father. The president is responsible for the nation. He is not the father of the nation. That is how we constantly, project the powers that we have as citizens onto leaders who are working for us. But sadly, Senator Ireti again was so unintelligent yesterday that she kept referring and infantilizing Senator Natasha Akpoti as my daughter. She's my daughter. No, she is not. She's your colleague. You are both senators.
You heard that. These are the kind of women we need in position of power, not women like Senator Ireti Kingibe. Ireti just rode on the back of Peter Obi's popularity and she rode there to the Senate. The woman is not intelligent at all. And now she has abused all that she got on a platter of gold. Many Obedients have said they will no longer have anything to do with her. So I hand her back to Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike, you can do whatever you want with Senator Ireti Kingibe. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that response from Senator NATASHA to the wife of Godswill AKPABIO, where she claimed that she has concrete evidence that AKPABIO actually sexually harassed her. And next is that update from Corpers Lodge, Nigeria. Nigerian youth corpers once again have been lied to and disappointed by the Tinubu regime after they paid them 33,000 naira instead of the 77,000 naira that they were promised this February. Let's start by taking that update from Senator NATASHA. Look at how the papers reported it. Just in, let AKPABIO defend himself. Senator NATASHA knocks Senate President's wife. Kogi Central Senator NATASHA Akpoti-Uduaghan has called on Mrs. Unoma AKPABIO, wife of Senate President Godswill AKPABIO, to stay out of the controversy surrounding allegations of sexual harassment and intimidation against her husband. The dispute between Ukpoti-Uduaghan and Senate President began when she refused to sit in a designated seat during a Senate session, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rules. However, the matter took a more serious turn when she appeared on Arise News last Friday, where she accused AKPABIO of blocking her motions, maligning her, and using his position to intimidate her after she allegedly rejected his sexual advances. In reaction to these claims, Mrs. AKPABIO addressed a press conference in Abuja, where she dismissed the allegations, insisting that both families had previously shared a cordial relationship even before Akpoti-Uduaghan's marriage. She described the accusations as baseless and misleading. Meanwhile, in a letter dated March 1, 2025 and addressed to Mrs. AKPABIO through her lawyer, Victor Giwa, she warned her to stay out of the matter. The letter, titled "Stay Away from Senator NATASHA Akpoti-Uduaghan's Sexual Harassment and Intimidation Allegation Against Senate President Godswill AKPABIO to Safeguard Your Sanity and that of your family," made it clear that the allegations were directed only at the Senate President and that he should be the one to defend himself. Akpoti-Uduaghan stated in the letter that she had no intention of involving Mrs. AKPABIO in the controversy and urged her to refrain from interfering. She expressed that while she had tolerated various forms of harassment from the Senate President, she was ultimately forced to speak out about the mistreatment and intimidation she had endured in the Senate. The letter stated, "Our client has concrete evidence to substantiate her allegations. We suggest that you leave the defense of these allegations to the Senate President to maintain your sanity and that of your family." Wow, things are completely getting more heated and taking a different turn because most Nigerians already are backing NATASHA because of AKPABIO's antecedents. But there are some Nigerians who are waiting to at least see a proof. They want to eat AKPABIO up. They want to devour him, but they want to do it with a proof, not just based on his character, on his person. They want to see a proof of this one. Yes, we know he's corrupt. We know he steals money and all that. But that he harassed a sitting senator, they need a proof to run with. And now, Senator NATASHA has come out to say, if it is proof they want, she has concrete proof and concrete evidence. And the fact that she said AKPABIO's wife should even stay away because of her sanity. She said for the sake of her sanity and that of her children, she should stay away from this matter. It means the facts of this case are so dirty. Maybe there are things that are unprintable, things that the ears should not hear. What a shame. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, that update from Nigerian Corpers Lodge began making the rounds. Corpers were expecting 77,000 naira because Their DG visited them in Abuja, gathered all of them. I think he went to 3 or 4 states, and he assured them, he said, they are sorry, we have been promising you that your allowance was going to be increased to 77,000, from 33,000 for some months now. But don't worry, by the end of February, that is what you will be receiving. But you can never trust the APC. Look at what happened. Breaking: Tinubu government fails to pay NYSC members new 77,000 naira allowance despite assurances, Sahara reporters. Despite promises by the National Youth Service Corps to increase corps members' monthly allowance to 77,000 naira starting February 2025, the Tinubu-led Nigerian government has continued to pay the old 33,000 stipend, Sahara reporters has learned. Multiple corps members confirmed receiving their February allowance on Friday night, only to find out that it remained unchanged at 33,000 naira, less than half of the new amount that was supposedly approved. The development contradicts the assurances given in January by the NYSC Director General, Brigadier General Yushau Ahmed, who had publicly stated that the allowance increment was a done deal, awaiting only the passage of the 2025 budget. The federal government has already approved the increment of your allowance. It is no longer news. We have the approval in our hands. What we are waiting for is just the passage of the budget, Ahmed had told corps members in Katsina State, vowing that by February, they would start receiving the 77,000 naira. However, February has come and gone, and the promise remains unfulfilled. The Tinubu government has not provided any official explanation for the failure to implement the increase, leaving corps members stranded and frustrated in the face of a worsening economic crisis. With Nigeria's inflation rate soaring and the cost of living becoming unbearable, the 33,000 naira allowance is no longer enough for corps members to meet even their basic needs. Many struggle to afford food, transportation, and accommodation as prices of essential commodities skyrocket due to bad economic policies and naira depreciation under Tinubu's administration. A corps member serving in Oyo expressed his disappointment, saying, "How do they expect us to survive on 33,000 naira when everything is expensive? They told us we would get 77,000 naira this month, and now they have failed again. This government keeps making promises but never delivers." Another corps member in Kano lamented that the delay in the allowance increment is yet another example of the government's insensitivity to the struggles of young Nigerians. We are serving our country, yet we cannot even afford decent meals. The government knows that 33,000 naira is not enough, but they don't care. They keep making empty promises while we suffer, she said. Is anyone surprised? Is there anyone who listens to this update and is surprised? Because I'm not. As a matter of fact, if they had kept to their words, I would have been surprised. I believe that in future, corpers may receive the 77,000 naira, but not when they say they are going to. They will make sure that, because if they say it has been approved, someone will delay the payments for a couple of months. That 37,000 naira that is on top, someone will be eating it. And it's not as if they hide. Tinubu, Gbajabia, Mila, everybody knows. Accountant General, they know the person that is eating it, because he's going to share it with the rest. But that is what they have approved. That is their modus operandi under the APC. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. The truth only here says, Nigerian politicians are the most heartless and wicked people on earth. They venture into politics to enrich themselves and families. Nigeria is the least on their agenda. They don't care if the country is rotten, backward, and dysfunctional, as long as they have access to steal billions through fake projects. Wow, I couldn't have said that any better. And our Rex here says, their hopelessness has been renewed. Same category of individuals used for elections games. So coppers, when you are asked to come and rig elections, remember, it is a government that doesn't care about you. And this tweet here says, and they just delayed their payment for nothing. This government. God. Everything is just propaganda. And I keep saying it. With the level of decay that hits Nigeria under Buhari, propaganda can no longer work. Mere words can no longer work. You have to show your workings. And that is why under 6 months, people already rated this government the worst ever because they couldn't show workings. What a shame. But I'm not surprised. This is the APC. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to have a country at all, to be able to call our own in the near future, we must cast aside our sentiments, unite, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because na because of una I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.